Alright folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join me in the heart of history, hidden in this wild east coast lands of Scotland. And currently, the place I'm standing, I'm in here out of the wind to do the intro for this. But this is actually the building which I explored in the last video. If you want to see this place in detail, go back and check that out. In today's video, I'm heading further along the coast to this massive ice house which is about there. It's located underneath a field, and I could just see the dark entrance going in. It looks like some crazy madness, folks, so we're going to have a look at that. I've never explored it before, and that's what I love, seeing new things that I've never documented. Right folks, this is a history update on the lime kiln from the last video. If you go back and watch it, here's a little bit to add to that. Remains of two even older lime kilns here, which had been in the ground, and I didn't even notice that the last time when I was exploring around there. Now I've come further down the coast, it's obvious that's what it is. So there's been multiple old lime kilns at this spot, and that could have been because there was a lot of limestone in the area which was easy to get. So I've come a little bit further along the coast here, and I've come into this field where the ice house is, and I'm just theorising this may have been where they dug out the limestone from. Back in the days when those lime kilns were in their prime, it's like this whole area here has almost been dug out. It could be natural and that the way it is, but to me it's just got that kind of quarry vibe. And that would make sense that the lime kiln was quite nearby that. Yeah, check this out, the ice house is up ahead folks, over this windy field. Check this out folks, we've made it. This is what I could see from the distance. Check it out, ancient ice house. Wow, this one's like dug in under the side of this field. Look at the old stones there at the door. And check out the old hinges, there's probably been some massive doors on here at one time. I love finding this, it's like buildings of history, almost lost and forgotten on the wild coast here. You can see that lintel stone's cracked. And it's like I say, a week ago I didn't even know this place existed. And here we are now. Like, documenting more history almost lost. It just blows my mind folks. And an ice house is so interesting. Often, like with an ice house like this one here at the coast, it would have been used for obviously ice, but they brought it over from cold places and then stored it up. And then in the summer they had the ice so they could package their fish and stuff like that. You get these inland estates, kind of smaller versions of this, and they were often for like big houses or mansions that had a lot of money. They would have an ice house and they would have ice like all year round. But most likely with these, like I say, it was for the fishing side of things. So let's head in here and have a look folks. Oi! Whoa, this is mad, look at the shape of it. It's got a carved roof. I don't even know if you can see the carved roof, folks. This is such a big building. Wow. Look at the old stone construction here. And the floor is made of like pebbles. Wow, this is cool, folks. So with this clip here, folks, I've enhanced the brightness slightly so you get more of an idea of this place. Because as it is just now, the light isn't the best. This is some crazy stone construction above my head. Wow. I can't even believe the size of this building. The way all that stonework and stuff is, it's just crazy. Sometimes enhancing it like that, it obviously does away with a bit of the quality, but it gives you more of an idea of what we're seeing. And that's back to standard darkness now, folks. And just check the size of this. I'm at the back wall here, and like you can see the door way down there, and the way this is constructed, it's like right now I'm under the field and under the ground, and And that's often how so much of that white stuff comes down through the rocks. It's the dampness and the moisture. Some of these stones may have been reused from other projects or other buildings, because I'm seeing actual decent stones throughout the middle, but they've got wee details on them, almost like it's from a previous build. No way, look at the erosion on that. It's like these stones have been brought from the sea. Often buildings in Scotland were just constructed from the local stone that was around the areas. And that's like what we're seeing here. Oh, there's hooks up on the wall. Big metal hooks. Oh, and it's the same along here. This is so cool. There's a huge metal bracket sticking out there. And another interesting detail, above my head there, folks, there's a big slab, but an opening where they may have actually lowered in the big chunks of ice off their horse and cart. Or maybe that was just an interesting thing. The hot air rises, so in an ice house they would put a wee opening like that, maybe to let the hot air out at the highest point. And that would also explain why the curved roof was a great idea for this. Again, the heat would always go to that central piece in the roof. It's crazy to even imagine like the physics of an ice house, and that would explain that, the reason it's that shape and the reason for the opening inside. Because I would say with this door it's been big enough for them to take the ice in and out of there. With a construction like this, you're talking 1800s, most likely in the 1800s a place like this was in its prime. I'll go up to the top and take a look in, see if we can see down through that slab that's on the top. Just check that out for a scene, folks. I love seeing it. History I've never documented before, and it just blows my mind. Okay, and I thought I had explored this coast thoroughly, but I must have never been on this section before Johnshaven. I can see out over the sea as well, there's like a small patch of sunshine. It just looks incredible. It's a perfect day for exploring if it wasn't for that mad wind. Yeah, you can see it's kind of reinforced at the sides with that thick walls, and that was maybe so the pressure of the ground didn't have effect on the main walls like over the years. A lot of the stuff was over engineered back in those days. Check it out, folks. This is obviously the roof here where the slab is. I'm a bit cautious like going on top of that. Oh look here, they've actually put this road over the top of the ice house. The back wall of the ice house must be roughly where I'm standing now. Oh wow, inside it looks like a slab, but from here you can see it, it's a massive stone. Here, it's crazy how high up we are right now. Wow. Real adventures, folks. It just shows you how far I would fall if the roof collapsed. Anyway, what an incredible structure that is. An old ice house, a coastal ice house. It's just mad to see. I never know what I'm going to see next. It's like such a variation of history in Scotland. Today, Johnshaven area. We're slightly south of Johnshaven, and this today has been so cool to see, and it's definitely worth a walk. Even that old lime kilns, which was turned into a pillbox, is definitely worth a walk as well and an explore. Like, so much fun to keep finding stuff like this and documenting it, sharing wee corners of Scotland with the world. Like, it's mad to think there's people in America and stuff watching this, seeing these wee bits of land. It's right on my doorstep. It's like, it's crazy I've never been here. Anyway, folks, what a madness. I'm way ahead on back down the coast, and I'll update you once I'm further along. It's been cool to see this piece of history though. You can tell from how it's built under the ground, that's the reason the ice would have been able to store in there. Even if the sun and stuff was shining on it in the summer, it would have no effect internally, and the building would remain cool. And it's like there has been an old road potentially coming up this way, past the door of the ice house. Check this out, folks. I've actually come a wee bit further south on the coast here, just to see if there's any other defences around this corner or that. And I can actually see up on the road behind the ice house, there's actually two of those tank traps. just done a crazy circle and land here to look at these, folks. I believe these were put here in the war, maybe shifted slightly, but a lot of this was to stop people attacking, like land craft coming up, tanks and stuff, and making their way over the land. A lot of the time these big chunks of cement, they were put all over the country to like slow down any attack from the sea, and that's what that could be here, because I don't see any other reason for them on this hill. Crazy, folks. And I think there is a World War II pillbox round the corner that I was at one time before. But this bit of coast here I had never been to, and I must have never come round this corner. Check it out, folks, these red cliffs are almost like something from Mars. Crazy red sandstone. But there's some historical graffiti, 1954. This is the area last time me and the channel DJ had walked all the way up here, and we stopped at these red rocks because I remember it. It was a crazy summer scene, and that was how I had never seen those two other wonders that we've seen in this video and the last video. But if my memory serves me correct, there's actually an old World War II pillbox just right here, which would be cool to go and have a look at. Whoa, look at this. This is all freshly eroded down on the path. Wow, just shows, folks, this coastal area is just constantly changing. Look at all this fresh erosion here. If you came at the wrong time of day, you would be stuck under all that. Like, that's the reason all this fragile rock got here. Over the years, it's just gradually fallen off, fallen down. Look at this beach, it's quite pebbly, but from what I'm seeing, it looks almost like the tide's going out right now. When I arrived at the site, I wasn't sure if it was going out or coming in. Here we go, folks, check it out. Just think World War II, there would have been a machine gun facing us here potentially. See, a lot of these little coastal pillboxes was built by the Home Guard. And the differences I've noticed, the Home Guard ones, like, they don't have gun mounts and stuff inside. So they must have been using rifles or whatever they were provided with, or whatever they had. Whereas the military pillboxes that I've been at the airfields and stuff, they've all got brackets for proper guns. It was probably more standard, the sort of weapons they were using. Yeah, this bit of land here, I'm kind of out of the wind now and it's a bit milder. This little bit of history is just in a little quiet corner of this bay. If anybody had attacked with like landing vehicles, okay, this bunker would have been opening fire, protecting the beach. And it would have been like a scene from the start of Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, I should have maybe had the wellies on for this one. Look, we're inside it though, folks. Oi! I'm standing on a big stone right now. Oh look, it's got the internal wall like that. And quite crudely constructed. A lot of the time these internal walls were designed for strength, but also to deflect bullets. If a bullet came in, it would maybe only strike one person instead of everybody. And another thing, if any blasts or that came in the door, if there was any explosions coming in the door, that wall would protect the bunker occupants. Yeah, I don't know if it's safe to stand there. Take a peek around this side. There you go, folks, exclusive look in there. Yeah, you can see how the bunker's been poured against the wooden shuttering. Wow, the ground's just like proper clay around here. That's like a lot of Aberdeenshire. So there we go, folks, a flooded pillbox. A little bit of World War II history once again. That's the thing with these adventures, because it's spontaneous, I never know what I'm going to see. Some weeks it's like, I went to look at that ice house, and now we're looking at World War II history. It's always something different. See, the grass and the earth was often put on top to protect it from any aircraft flying over trying to do reconnaissance. And you can see the hexagon shape of that bunker. Probably in communication, maybe we runners going between here and the pillbox we saw in the last video, located inside the lime kiln. There's actually another pillbox the same as this one, and it's located at the far side of that. I think it's called the Tanglia Caravan Park up there. I saw the sign at the road end said Tanglia, which is quite an unusual name. This all looks like sedimentary rock here, to be honest. Sedimentary sandstone, but mixed in with that in this east coast of Scotland, you get some crazy other like volcanic rocks and crazy geology. It's unreal. See this dugout? The last time we were here, we theorised that this may have been here to slow down any attackers to the bunker. If they were running on land, it would be harder for them to come down into here and back up without getting peppered with machine gun fire. Anyway, let's head on out here, folks. It's been a crazy madness. Seeing what we've seen today, I just love it. It's little nuggets of history just hidden in this freezing cold landscape. Yeah, I've just loved coming to see it. So cool. I love navigating the wild lands, just walking between fences and boulders and grasslands until you eventually find the little artefacts hidden in the middle of it. But that pillbox is actually in pretty good condition, even though it's got water in it. And the cement and the stonework inside it looks good. Oh, crazy folks, sneaking through the fence there. Yeah, I think I'll stick to the path. I thought about going along there, but Pebbles is actually one of the worst things to walk on. I could keep going down the coast further, but I think we'll keep that for another day. It's been cool today to see what we've seen. And it's mad because even though I'm still facing the sea here, it must be the shape of the land. Like there's no actual strong wind like what we had a minute ago. No, unless the day's kind of maybe changing a bit. Often in Scotland you just have to make the most of like the weather conditions. Even if it's windy or rainy, it's often cool just coming and going full send into an adventure. From coast to glen, we're back at it again, folks. Real adventures through the wild lands of Scotland. It's been cool to see the history we've seen. When I first parked at Johnshaven, I didn't even know if we would see anything, and now this is us 2 adventures in. The history we've seen has been worth it. Yeah, there's loads of graffiti on this red rock. Maybe people come along here and chill out in the summer. You could probably bring a flask and sit here and just look out over that magic scene. It's just mad, folks. I'm looking back down this coastal direction to Johnshaven, and the way the waves is just all rolling in onto these rocks. It's like such an atmosphere. The roar from all that, it just adds to the character of the land. Adventures like this I just totally love. And initially I was wanting to look at that old lime kiln and stuff, and I've seen so much on this walk, it's crazy. Like that ice house and stuff that we started the video on, you can see it standing up prominent on the hill there. It's mad, like the engineering and stuff that they used to do back in those days, like the old architects and like what they worked with. They must have come to a site like that and thought like, this is the area here, we're going to do it. Think of the manpower and the construction. They'd often have a horse and cart carrying the bricks and the stones in and out, and then once it's complete, horse and carts most likely bringing the ice here from the old train stations, maybe at Johnshaven or could be any of these coastal towns. Also, if you think about the Home Guard army that was like defending this coast here with these bunkers and pillboxes and different little places they developed for the defence of the land, it's crazy to imagine what they might have been thinking at one time when they were looking out those portholes in the bunkers, just waiting for the sight of some sort of attack. Most of them were older, or they couldn't actually go and fight on the front line, but a lot of them would have probably had families and friends that were all out fighting, and they were probably sitting in there pondering the war, and they wouldn't have even known the outcome. It must have been such a crazy time back then. It's not even that long ago, and these sort of buildings I'm exploring, it's just like the last remains of that bit of crazy history. And as I walk back towards that massive lime kiln pillbox from the last video, I'm noticing another old lime kiln here. Again, at the start of this video I noticed the 2 next to this one, so that shows you there's been 3 lime kilns here at least, and maybe another one where the big lime kiln was built at a later time. I would say these old ones are just ancient construction. Like, you can just see a small bit. It's like where the centre of the heart of the furnace had been built with the strongest stone. And I think the surface of the stone changes with the extreme heat. It almost helps it stand up to the mad coastal erosion once it's been heated to a certain degree. There you go, folks, there's the pits, the other two kilns there, and then the one from the last video. We'll say goodbye to it as we walk past. What a mad scene it's been. Mad stone construction from a time gone by, once again shared with the world. It's crazy. It's crazy all this stuff's just out here ready to be explored. I never even know it exists until I'm out on these adventures. Real abandoned history of Scotland, folks. Forgotten history. And that one's got that cool wee tunnel. Wow, what an adventure it's been. And then this little side building's been here. There's been so much here originally, and probably even more at this side. Like I say, it's gotten washed away and eroded as the years go on. Check it out, folks, I love the character of these little coastal towns. I can see like mad erosion on the walls. This actually looks like it's been the local garage, I think, at one time. Maybe the local mechanic's place down here at the coast. But yeah, these wee villages, the character of them's so cool. I think I'll cut through this direction. Yeah, look, it's been some big old shed, like. Whoa, see how it's all just built onto the raw land here, the rocks of the coast. It's all just been constructed on the edge of it. It's like they've built their little town around the fishing. Whoa, I don't know if I can get around here. I'm just going to jump down. Real adventure, folks. Yeah, now and again there's just strong gusts of wind, but I think it depends on the lie of the land they're in. This place is like, I'm just going to follow the edge of the water till I get to my car. Whoa, there's some big waves ripping in, folks. The wild North Sea. It's crazy because last night I was out until sunset. The first video of this week, that was a madness, and that was literally like last night. And then this is first thing in the morning the next day. I'm back at the side of the North Sea, probably like 20 miles further north. The landscape and just the whole area looks totally different. There's all that fresh history waiting to be explored and uncovered. It's just crazy to see it. Share it with the world, folks. And even look at this landscape, eh? It's like mind-blowing landscape, like. When I arrived at this site, I wasn't sure if the tide was going out or in, but I'm starting to think it must be going out. But I still can't really judge it because I'm unfamiliar with this area of the coast. I was a bit wary because my car's parked near the harbour wall. I was wary of like pebbles and stuff flying up over there, but I think that's maybe only in like storms that happens. Check out, folks, the amount of creel nets here at the side of the harbour shows the vast amount of fishing that's still done out of this harbour. It's pretty mad because like back in the day, most families in a village like this would have been in the fishing game. But it shows you Johnshaven still does have quite a lot of that going on. Oh, the tide is coming in because I can see that little harbour there was dry when I came in. Now there's water in it, so it shows the harbour around here will be a bit more full as well. Yeah, there's just boats lining the edge of this place. Check this out, folks, a total madness here. The water's coming right into the harbour now. Yeah, this harbour here dates back like hundreds of years. The old fishing heritage of the country here. Fishing heritage of Scotland. And there would have been boats lining this whole area at one time. But this area here, I do excuse the wind in this clump here, like it's blowing down. This must be where the old harbour gate actually was. Proper ice cold wind coming down there. Yeah, look, there's been an old harbour gate there and it's no longer there. No, unless that's where a ladder used to go down, the same as this. That's what it might be, folks. So there we go, folks. I've made it back out of the wind and into my car. For this outro, I thought it was so much better out of the wind. Like, look at that. The person's washing on that line down there. It's proper blowing. Their tea towels will end up a whap at Gordon in that wind, like. But yeah, that was a cool adventure. This harbour must have never had like a harbour gate or anything like that. Like what we've seen at some other harbours, like Gordon for instance, just up the coast. I love the way the old harbour stairs and the stonework's built right out in the water. When they built stuff like that, like they knew what they were doing. Hundreds of years ago, built for the industrial purpose of earning the money from the fishing, which is what these communities and towns was built around. But that's been a cool adventure today. Seeing what we've seen, we started by looking at that ice house, and then we saw just some other cool little nuggets of history, hidden and forgotten in this wild land of Scotland. Today it's proper windy and cold, but it's been cool. We were able to get the adventure done, and it's still the morning. I might even go on more adventures today, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going to end this one here. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you very soon for the next one, wherever I end up going.